New York Comic Con 2023. Welcome to the vlog. Another year, another New York Comic Con, another cosplay weekend, and one that did not go as expected. The convention starts Friday for me. My plan is only to go for about 3 hours, borrowing my friend's badge and just going around and seeing what the con has to offer. I did get a badge specifically for Sunday for me and my sister, but I didn't want FOMO to kick in, and since I go to New York Comic Con every year for over 10 years, my friend was nice enough to let me borrow it, and I was like, okay, I'll put a little cosplay on, something easy. I chose to go with Poison Ivy. I woke up before 12 to get to the convention for 2 p.m. Here is my casual Poison Ivy fit and some of my travel to the Jacob Javits Center, of course. This awesome violin player has been playing every year since this train station opened, from what I remember. Feel free to check out the old vlogs to see. It's really awesome that they're still there and still playing. They sound amazing. My whole goal for my Friday was to run around the show floor, basically, see what was going on, get some coverage of cosplayers, see if there's anything new or interesting that I really enjoyed. But of course, I did go downstairs to where the food trucks and where all the cosplayers meet up first, since I wanted to get as much footage with some decent light as possible. I got to see a bunch of familiar faces along with so many awesome costumes. Here are some of the ones that I saw. I did feel like there were a bunch more groups, which was really cool to see. I love it when people are able to team up and do things together. I know I enjoy doing it when it's possible. From what I was told by many people who had 4-day badges or pro badges, or whatever the case may be, it was a lot tamer on Thursday, as usual, so Friday seemed a little bit more overwhelming. I think this is to be expected, but some people were saying that it was their first times at the con, and New York Comic Con can be a lot for the first time. After that, I headed to the show floor, of course. And here are some of the bigger company booths that was happening this year. Some familiar statues, a few different companies. I will say it was super heavy on anime, and I know that it's been increasing every year at New York Comic Con, but there was a lot of anime going on. And it was very interesting, honestly, considering there is anime NYC. But I guess that's where the fandom's heading towards right now, and no complaints from me. It's really cool to still see some classic costumes, of course. Here's the display that they had for Loki Season 2. Some random glasses. The Marvel booth was pretty normal. It did have some of the costumes that will be appeared in the Marvels movie, which I thought was nice. You can see all the details. I do like that they do that every year. They'll bring some of the costumes that were used in whatever movie's coming up currently. And as a cosplayer, you get to see all the details. You get to see what the material looks like in person, and it's beneficial. After all the big booths, I start making my way towards the medium and smaller companies. These are the ones that I really enjoy. The original art, original designs, people who are creating things that haven't been seen before and in a completely different way. This is a company that I actually saw on TikTok first, and I had no idea they were going to be at New York Comic Con, so it was really exciting to see that. I absolutely adore prints, but at this point I have so many and nowhere to put them, so I have been looking for alternatives between pins and patches and stickers and all of that, but I still had to show off some of my favorite print places, of course. I know New York Comic Con is one of the most difficult conventions to get into as a smaller business, so every time that I get to see new and different and creative and cultural and anything that's different than the big companies and a company that I have not seen before, it does make me genuinely excited. But then I get to see familiar companies like this one, where I bought a bee stuffed animal a few years ago because I saw their booth and absolutely fell in love with it. It's nice to see all the different variations of fandoms. From the booths that I take footage of and I share with you, you can tell what my style is personally. It is probably towards a more bubbly, girly, fun, bright side, but you know, I try to range a little all over the place. the show floor, I head towards Cosplay Central, which was a lot more interesting this year, if I am to say. One of the first things I saw when walking in was a bunch of the stunt actors I've seen here. The Star Wars section was much more massive. They even had little lightsaber training things. They had the sets like these up as last year, but they also had huge Star Wars sets up that you'll see later on in the video. They added a bunch of professional panels in the much larger space in the back, which I thought was really cool. Of course, there was cosplay repair, which is awesome. Everybody needs it, just in case. I have surely used it a few times. A couple of photography booths and changing stations. I do wish they had more changing stations. And then I got to speak with Cosplay World for a little bit, and that would change the rest of my weekend. I was already scheduled to work with Sexy Nerds for their after party for both Friday and Saturday, but now I would also be coming in Saturday early for New York Comic Con to do some coverage for the convention. This was exciting, being able to do some more social media videos, but not only for myself, but for a company. I did work with Cosplay World in August. Feel free to check out that vlog on TikTok. I slowly started to make my way out to give the badge back to my friends and for me to go home and begin getting ready for the after party very slowly. I would still be Poison Ivy later. I would just be a super casual animated version where she wears her little purple top and black pants. I also lost the game, as you saw. I am wondering how many people will get that reference. So many beautiful, awesome, and wonderful cosplays. I am so glad I got to see as many as I did for just a few hours that I was there. Went home, relaxed, then it was off to go to the after party. Stopped at McDonald's real quick, got a double quarter pounder, my go-to meal, because I would surely need all of that energy. Friday's Sexy Nerd Party was at Jack Doyle's. I personally really enjoyed the layout of this space. There was a massive bar downstairs with some tables, and then upstairs was a huge dance floor with a little bit of a smaller bar. The DJs were on fire. The variety of music was great. And the place got packed fairly quickly. My entire night consisted of games, dancing, and drinking. I was there till I think after 2 a.m. The party was nonstop and the vibe was immaculate. Here's some footage. After all that dancing, one needs to cool down with a drink and a game. Or several. Benefits of being in the city, everything's open late. So we made the choice to go get some ice cream afterwards too. A Carvel swirl with some hot fudge. Then it was home. Because I had to be up earlier for Saturday. I packed Polaris, my old cell phone, a tripod, and got ready for the convention. My first outfit of the day would be comfy and casual. My Cosplay World t-shirt, red pants, and rain boots because it was raining for Saturday of Comic Con. Look at this amazing view from the booth. Surely a different way to see the show floor. And now I got to run around with 2 phones in my hand and trying to get some really good footage. Saturday costumes are always amazing, so I knew that wouldn't be difficult. Plus, tiny Jedis with lightsabers. Now I'm going to be quiet for a bit while you get to see what Saturday of New York Comic Con looks like. After running around in familiar areas for most of the day, my one goal for Saturday was Artist Alley. And I got to see about 2/3 of it before I had to leave, so not terrible. I love stopping by Artist Alley and being able to see either artists that I follow on so many different social media platforms, or getting to discover completely new art that I've never seen before, and then sharing it here and following them and seeing where they'll be next. I think this is where my variety and style grows. Definitely a need to see spot at every convention. Classic, modern, obscure, realistic, the endless varieties of what you will find. You are bound to fall in love with something, let alone everything. I mean, just take a look yourself. Then the show floor and Artist Alley was closed. And since my convention was so last minute, I didn't have any panels planned. So I head home and got ready for the Sexy Nerds party. Night 2 took place at the Taylor Public House. This place was completely different than the first. The layout was so different, but still really fun. All the video games and dancing, of course. A hallway with so many mirrors for all the selfies. And of course the DJ spinning. I was there till late and then picked up my little sister. Rode back to my place so that we can easily get ready Sunday morning for Comic-Con. Kids Day is our day, of course, and she chose that we would be Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. She has absolutely fallen in love with the Disney Marvel show, and I binged the entire thing while making our costumes. Luckily, our travel was easy, and I specifically made my costume easy to get in and out of, as I knew I would be running around with her. Definitely function over accuracy. Sometimes you just have to make a choice. I had her decide where she wanted to start first, of course, the show floor. There's always so much for her to see, and she loves it all, and it makes me thoroughly excited. She picked a favorite pin, and then we went to the Marvel booth for the kids' costuming event. This was her first time walking across the Marvel stage, and I think she did amazing. The next stop she chose was Artist Alley. This made me so happy. She knows that this is where all the variety is, and that she's bound to see something that she will really enjoy. And it really helped me see the other 1/3 that I missed yesterday. Finished Artist Alley seeing a couple of pigeons, and then a little dance break. Next up was lunchtime, so we picked up some chicken tenders, french fries, and went upstairs to the cosplay pavilion area to sit down and nom nom. She ran around the cosplay area until it was almost closed, then spent the last 5 to 10 minutes walking around some of the bigger areas of the show floor. She just wanted to experience it a little bit more before we left. I can't blame her. New York Comic Con is both overwhelming and entertaining. But before you know it, the weekend's over. I got to be at the con far longer than expected. and it was so worth it. There's my Comic-Con weekend. I hope you enjoyed watching. Till next time.